I'd like to, but I couldn't. I want you to know that for Australia, internationalisation is very strongly about understanding Asia. We are on the edge of Asia. It is our region, our part of the world, but Australia is still recovering from a racist past. It was only 1972 that the White Australia policy ended. It's not a long time ago. Over the last few generations, we have embraced multiculturalism. The largest groups of immigrants into Australia currently are Chinese and Indian. In my university, Monash University, we have 16,000 Chinese students in my university. It's an extraordinary shift that has taken place as Australia wakes up to the world that we're in and how we need to engage in productive and responsible and shared ways to the Asia century that we're in because of the shifting power, power shifts that we're having. So, back in 2007, the Asia Education Foundation said, we really need to understand our relationships, be good neighbours, be responsible global citizens, enrich our cultural life, and understand the region. So what I want to do is to show you two things. I minimise, I should be able to get to it very quickly. Where's it all gone? I want to show you the Asia Education Foundation. This is an organisation you can Google if you're interested. The Asia Education Foundation has existed for 25 years to build understanding of our region. What I'm telling you here is a story of internationalisation in our schools, where the policy is Asia first. Internationalisation, but look to our region first, because the largest number of immigrants to Australia are from the region, and therefore it's important that we develop mutual understanding. On this website, you're going to see that there is all sorts of extraordinary resources for teachers, curriculum resources in every subject that you can think about, whether it's history, maths, science, geography, and so on, civics and citizenship. Leading schools who are working in this field, and policy and research, papers, debates, research that's done into this area. What I would like to do is to show you one small 3-minute snapshot of what internationalisation means for children in schools, for teachers, and for our future through an example of the Australia-Indonesia Bridge Program. So let's have a look at this together and see what story it actually tells.
My Foundation's investment in theatre.
Don't we love technology? You thought we were all ready? Will it keep loading?
Australia-Indonesia Bridge Project.
No. It'll keep unloading? Yep, I'll talk about it later. That's fine. Okay, let's leave it unloading and I'll go back to the PowerPoint. That's fine, we'll keep it unloading. So I'm going to take you back to show you how we have something like 450 school relationships between Australia and schools across Asia, none of them in Taiwan. I think we've got a bit of work to do here. I think I need to connect up with you and see how we can make this happen. But this What this does is it allows, is that the right one in Cantonese to keep going? Yeah. This gives an opportunity for children to experience internationalisation through people-to-people relationships using Skype. All you need is a laptop, download Skype free, and connect up your classrooms for weekly, sometimes in some schools even daily interaction with schools across Asia, where the children are learning about the same topics. The only thing they need is some English consistency. Sometimes that's even only through their teachers. Being able to look at each other, share each other's projects, send each other examples of posters, stories about their life, pictures, connectedness is surely an extraordinary example of internationalisation for young people. We also have many opportunities of models for school curriculum, and here is a little bit of an idea of how school curriculum can be connected to civics and citizenship education. These days, civics and citizenship education is a compulsory subject for all young people, so that they understand governance in their own country and the civics and the parliaments and the processes in their own world as well. So again, as part of building Australia's Asia literacy, meaning building our knowledge and understanding and capabilities to know our neighbours, here is one opportunity to go on a volunteering placement opportunity. And here are many teaching and learning activities that you can view more when you've got time and look at China's one-child policy, conservation in Thailand, Vietnamese national systems, caring for Thailand, and learning about intercultural opportunities. All of these programs involve what's called Scoop It. Ever heard of Scoop It? It's where the Asia Education Foundation scoops up, like in a spoon, goes and collects, scoops up amazing resources, clips, poses inquiry questions, a bit like problem-based learning or project-based learning, scoops up these resources and drops them into this site so that the teachers just go in and open up these activities, and it means that they can then continue on their way in that process. Also, our coolschools.org is an international organisation hosted through Australia that focuses on the need for all young people to learn about sustainability and to understand that for their future, working towards a more sustainable world is one of the most important things that we might do. And this is going to come up in a minute, I'm sure. Here it is. So coolaustralia.org, award-winning digital toolboxes. This is what kids love. When you sign up to this, and you can sign up to this anywhere in the world, oh, I just lost it. Moved mine. You're able to, for whether you're a teacher or a student, jump in to look at inquiry-based questions. What's up with climate change? What's happening in the world? Always students will be more motivated and interested if the topic is framed around a question that intrigues them and interests them in their future and in their possibilities. Now, I don't know, how do I make this go bigger here? Because it's all in Chinese, it's a little bit hard for me. Here, let's think about the models that you can use in your classrooms. Could you put up your hand if in your school you still organise the day, the timetable, through subjects? How many of you have geography and a section of that each day? Could you put up your hand if you have your day? Put up your hand high, let's look around. Subjects, geography, history, maths, English. Can you put up your hand high? Okay, so about a half of the audience. That's the way the curriculum is organised. That's still very typical in Australia, but more and more, the lessons are about 1.5 hours long, so that students can get focused on depth of understanding in that time. So they might look at learning about international understanding, internationalisation, through geography. That's one way that they might learn. Or they might learn through history. Or they might learn through other forms as well. And again, it's a slow load. Now, here we go. Here you've got more resources from the Asia Education Foundation. And have a look at what's there. Every one of those brown words is a unit of work for teachers. It's scooped up. If we look at just one, the impact of climate change across Asia, because we're in this region, we are on the edge of this region, so this is our Asia First approach. The work is done for the teacher. It connects to the curriculum, but it provides all the resources that the teacher needs. How many hours do we spend as teachers planning, finding materials, getting that picture that just tells the story and helps us to connect the student with that approach? Here, in the Asia Education Foundation site, this work's actually done for us. And you, I'm sure, can have a lot of fun playing with this when you Google into this. If we have a really good look at, see how it says the words scooped by the Asia Education Foundation. Here, you've got all the different resources. You've got an infographic. Kids love infographics because in a nutshell, you've got knowledge, content, information to use. Plus, you've got lovely little film clips for your Year 10 Geography class. You've got climate change and poverty in China. You've got articles out of the newspaper and lots of different resources, including things about climate change and the Green Asia, Asian Development Bank. It's a brilliant little 2.5-minute clip that the students can go into and begin to explore, tune in, investigate, start to answer questions, and then build on it through other examples of scooped up great resources. One page, one access, you get the kids into, and away you go. So much of this can be done in 1.5 hours, yet it relates to curriculum, to geography, to literacy, to numeracy, using graphs, statistics, charts, and it's strong learning that means that those kids can get the answers right in the tests, and their competencies and understandings are being used. So, we've looked at the idea. I won't stop through history or I'm going to run out of time, but you can have a look there and you'll see that because these resources come from the Asia Education Foundation, the history goes from ancient times right through to today and asks questions like, why Asia in Australia? Have we always been connected? Answer is yes, over centuries. In what ways have we been connected? What is our future link with this area? How many of you are using what we call integrated curriculum approaches in your classrooms? Anyone thinking, yeah, we integrate, we draw on some English, some history sometimes, we make connections between the different disciplines. This is rather a worldwide trend. And I would like to get into this, so we'll be patient while it loads. Here you've got examples of teaching about Asia, internationalisation, through business and economics, or through maths, where students use statistics and data that is connected to countries other than their own, so that their experience of the world is being broadened through the actual maths classes. Here, you've got a really interesting unit on food and fibre. So it's a big curriculum theme, and it integrates understandings around things like needs and wants. What are our needs for food? And how do our needs compare with a child from another Asian country? Integrated into this is global understanding, internationalisation, business, economics, and mathematics. so that there is holistic learning going on here. Then, in Year 7, they can look at Australia's wheat exports to Asia, one of the most important aspects of our economy. But looking at it from two ways. Looking at exports, also looking at imports. It is authentic, purposeful, real-life learning, and kids get it. They get it because it's about them and their future, and they can see the understanding. Using questions for curriculum. How much is that? They investigate prices of food and fibre products and how the costs vary between Australia and the Asian region. We find 16,000 Chinese students at Monash, about half of them are studying business and economics. That tells me that they're pretty interested in trade and business and economics. Others of them are interested in science and medicine and law and so on. Case studies of Asian export. Where are our clothes and shoes manufactured? I did an exercise with my students where they had to take off their top layer of clothing and check, we did a survey, check where do your clothes come from. Guess what the answer is? Largely China, sometimes Indonesia. Trade statistics. This is an integrated approach to framing curriculum. For the very little children, exploring how food is designed and created and how it tastes different, taking them to the local Chinese grocer for them to smell and taste and experience difference. Sometimes they screw up their noses and say, oh, I don't like that. A lot of the times they say, oh, that's what I eat every day. Because our food, noodles, rice, spices, has become globalised across the region. Rice growing, such a fundamental thing for little children to learn about, but through an examination of